speak divine knowledge of self, the truth, with the conviction that he teaches it with, automatically you become a target.
Yes.
Automatically, because it goes against the status quo. They do not want you to wake up. If you look at all of the churches and how there are so many black people that come together to worship a false image of the white Jesus, all of that focus is going towards the lower self, the Antichrist. The Antichrist is going against what is truth, everything that is a lie. But in this time, Elihu will be considered the Antichrist.
Antichrist.
In this system.
Right. The Antichrist, the Christ is going to appear as the Antichrist to the Antichrist. He's going to appear as Satan to the Antichrist.
Because they are in power, they're going to make the truth look like Satan.
Yeah, exactly. But if you look at the Bible, back in those days, Jesus, who everybody loves today, who everybody got on their chain, the white Jesus, everybody loved him. But in the times of the Bible, Jesus was stoned. It says in the Bible, Jesus came through his own people and his people received him not.
No.
They knew him not.
So he wasn't popular in his day.
He went in the churches where these people go every Sunday. He went in the churches flipping over the table, say, this is not right.
Yes.
He said, render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's. They said he passed him the denarius. Who was on a denarius? Caesar. He was talking about a dollar bill. If we really look at the Bible, we will see that these so-called Christians aren't even living up to what they believe in.
No.
Because in the Bible, it says you cannot love God and money. Exactly. So how are you going to church on Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you busting your ass for a piece of paper?
It's your focus.
It got your mind.
Where is it?
And your mind is your soul. So whatever is consuming your mind, whatever you focusing on when you got to work, when you going to work and you typing that paper up, and when you going to work and you at that cash register, what you doing, that's got your focus. Yep. But your focus are not supposed to be on those things. Your focus is supposed to be on the kingdom of God and all of its righteousness.
Exactly.
You don't have to go and work for that. Because once you focus on the kingdom, everything else shall come to you. This is cosmic currency. These are the principles that Chief has brought to humanity. The Messiah is going to come through melanated people. It's going to come through the black people. Why? Because we don't got our last name. What's your last name? Williams, Buckner. These are European last names.
Exactly.
What's your culture? White culture. That's why these black people are going to these white churches. We might have the hip hop, but these celebrities and the hip hop artists, they are just they are higher versions within the system. They have the money and they buy the cars and the clothes and they make the music, but that's still the white man car, that's still the white man clothes. That's all come from the lower self.
Exactly.
And so the Messiah has to come through the lost sheep, through the lost people, to remind them who they are.
Right. He's going to look like
us.
He's going to look like me.
The original. Like the Messiah has to come through the original people, because all other races, Asian, Mexican, these are all different versions of the original melanated man and woman. Exactly. And so the Jesus in the Bible, he was black. His people, so if his people didn't receive him and they knew him not, that means his own people didn't know him. They couldn't receive him because they were embedded with so much self-hate. And this is why Christians today are the Antichrist, because they are worshiping a white Jesus.
Which is a lie. It is false.
The devil is a lie. When they went in that courtroom and sat up on their stands, was that godly? No, because the devil is a lie. everything that they said before they went in that courtroom. We heard what they said. Let's play one part. Rape. People who kill people, chop people up and bury them, don't even get no life sentence plus 10 years without the possibility of parole.
No, they don't.
If that wasn't no persecution of the Christ, if that wasn't no target to try to quiet the truth.
You ever heard of COINTELPRO to prevent the rise of a black messiah? That's what's going on here. Not to mention the motive. What is the motive that people have in order to do something like this? Well, the judge, Stacey COVID,
she had
COVID. First of all, you're not supposed to continue with a trial when you have COVID. You feeling sick. I've had COVID. You don't feel good at all to continue with anything when you had COVID. But she was so adamant. To finish it that day. Why?
Because she knew it would have been a mistrial.
Knows that it would have been a mistrial. She knows that he did not do it. It was not proved beyond a reasonable doubt. But they used that jury to, the jury was tainted as well because they did lives as well. Stacey Hydrick had his election coming up.
And we learned that when judges have elections, what get them elected is them giving people
harsh sentences. Yes.
Life sentences, death sentences. They do this to get their election, to get elected.
Yes. But this system is coming to its near end when you see injustices like that happening over and over and over again.
They've been doing this for years.
Think about it. What if it was you? What if it was your brother or your father or your cousin, your nephew? What if it was them? And a lot of times it will be because black men especially are number one targeted.
Yes.
And especially if you have a spirit and a message, like our husband Alihio. If you have a message and you have a purpose, they're going to try to do everything that they can
to quiet it,
to try to break their spirit. Like you saw if you read the Willie Lynch letter, the things that they used to do in order to try to break the spirit. What you just watched was a modern day lynching.
Yep.
In front of our very eyes.
On the news.
And everyone has turned their back and act like it hasn't happened. When you just seen somebody, you just seen him get crucified, sentenced to life, without the possibility of parole, when there was no violence, no nothing. If I recall, she got on the stand and she never said the word. No. And she described it as her sitting on top of him with her legs wrapped around him and helping her take her pants off. Now, if anybody who has been in that type of situation, I know you ain't going to describe it in the way that she has. But you know what? Karma. That's a natural law of the universe. Everybody who was there, who was going against him, who knew, the jurors who did a live saying that they knew they weren't supposed to go and research, but they did. They broke a rule.
Yep.
Jurors falling asleep. Nobody cared. It was a circus going on there, and we sat there and we let it happen. We watched, and you guys sat there and disappeared one by one by one, not even checking on us, not even asking how he's doing. This has been done time and time again, so that whenever the spirit of truth, the spirit of the Christ comes through a melanated being who has been elected and chosen to bring this message to his people, whenever they see that spirit, that is when they pick him.
You need to research COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO was a group, an organization that was created by the FBI to stop the rise. Their agenda was to stop the rise of the Black Messiah.
Exactly.
These people know that it's going to come through the melanated man.
Yeah.
That's why most of the melanated men are locked up. You see, we living in our body. This earth is our body, yo. We are cells in the body. You got cancer cells and you got immunity cells. The immunity cells are indigenous. They connected to the earth. They the original. That's why melanin, it naturally resists this system. Yeah. Melanin naturally goes against this system. That's why most black men are in jail.
Yeah.
Because they resist the system naturally. Used to go to school, nobody listen to the teacher. They beating on the desk. They making music. That's just in the melanin and genetics to be rhythm and be in tune with nature, the music, the art, the movement. And that's what they afraid of.
Exactly.
They want to keep you docile. They want to keep you sleep through the food you eating, through the water you bathing in, from you being in your house not connected to the earth, from you not being in the sun. When you in the sunlight, you picking up the colds from the sun through your hair, through your skin. You are picking up and activating your God genes when you connect to the sun. That's why Chief said you need to go to the equator.
Yes.
You need to activate your God genes, because you just gonna start getting intuitive knowledge within your DNA. You just gonna have a random thought like, why are we in squares? When I look around, all I see is squares, 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 squares. When energy naturally moves in a spiral. Chief has brought the science.
But you know
he was really waking people up.
But you know what? Now we have the solar flares coming. It's automatically going to wake black people up.
Yep.
This sun is coming out. It's getting hotter.
Because guess what? When you sick, the body warms up. Exactly. You get a fever. The fever represents waking up the immunity cells in your body. Mm-hmm. So when that sun getting hotter, it's going to wake up the immunity cells. It's going to wake up the melanated people. And they knew them solar flares was coming, which is why they trying to lock away the black man. Don't want him to be in the sun. They got Chief on 24-hour lockdown. 24-hour lockdown. No hour of wreck. Not even 30 minutes of wreck. 24-hour lockdown. But you can't stop the truth.
No.
You can't stop it.
No.
This is not over. Y'all really think Chief gonna get life plus 10 years without the possibility of parole?
No.
No. This is all happening for his exoneration.
Exactly.
That's why none of it makes sense. The accuser said that I gave it to him. I gave it to him because I still cared about him. Exactly. Now, how in the hell did he get life?
And also, how did these other people come in when they didn't have nothing to do with it? They wasn't even there. That shit should never have been. That shit should never have happened. Never. And we haven't came on live for a long time because the trolls take everything and they use it to promote themselves, to make money. They said to life and said that he can't make money, but the trolls is making money off of him with everything that they sell. That's crazy. But you know what? At the end of your life, I know that people are having a guilty conscience because they know deep down inside that they lied.
They wrong, and we have compassion for you.
We have compassion. At the end of the trial, he said, Christ said, I love you. I still love you. I forgive you. You don't know nobody that would have said that after a life sentencing. That I still love you and I still care for you and I'm going to see you at the end. Mm-hmm. Because I want to see your face. Mm-hmm. When you see what you did. Mm-hmm. A lie, no matter how small, and this is something that you should teach your children or anybody that you know. Never lie. Mm-hmm. No matter how small the lie is, you shouldn't lie. Because a little lie will get you in so much trouble. Mm-hmm. And that is what they did. At the end of their life, they're going to have to sit there and and reap the benefits of what they sold into the universe. They all knew that that wasn't right, that trial was, they didn't have any evidence. They could not prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. The prosecution should have stopped it right then and there and said, I'm not going forward because we don't have enough sufficient evidence.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to let some people in. A lot of people have been commenting about this case, and we want to let some of the people speak. We want to hear other people's perspectives.
We want to hear your perspectives. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, come on and ask us, build with us. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because we haven't been on here for a long time. Mm-hmm. But now we are coming back to, because we cannot let this keep going and going without spreading awareness. Mm-hmm. That is why we are pushing very hard to make sure that everybody is aware of what happened through our social medias, through our websites. This is not right. Imagine if this happened to somebody that you know, that you love dearly. Mm-hmm. Imagine if that would have happened.
Peace.
Peace to God.
Peace, y'all. Peace. Okay, we all here. Peace. Yeah, we've been wanting to hear just some of the people like speak about it, because this is big. Like, this was on the news.
Yeah.
And it's like, we have to talk about this. We can't just let this slide. This can happen to anybody. And it's not even like you got to be safe. It's like who you around, just being in a relationship, and you could just go to the police and say anything.
Yeah, because everybody's watched social media where she came on. She was going with us. Like, this girl was with us very close. You was there, Issa.
I met her.
Yes.
She met her. We were all
together. Like, this girl was on Chief's dick heavy, bro.
Yes.
Like, heavy.
Okay, so on my experience, when you guys were here in St. Croix, that I spent that night by you guys' house, that I ate, and then I left or whatever. At one point that I stepped outside to, take my little meds.
Yeah.
She sat outside with me to keep me company. And I remember having a conversation with her because I'm from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And most Caribbean women, we're not really into polygamy. So I'm knowing that she's Jamaican. I was like, I questioned her because I felt like she was just out of place.
I know you. I saw you when you were doing that. Yeah.
Because of the simple fact that it was like, when it came to you three, like you two and Malia.
Yes.
Malaya. Sorry, I said it so wrong. But anyways, when it came to y'all like were always together, but she was always in her own little corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only time a friend would be in her own little corner is when she's drawing.
Yeah.
Right? I remember that. But she always was like to herself. But was always, and when I asked her, I'm like what's your purpose for being here? Like, why are you really here? And she was like, oh no, because I love Babaji, he's such a good man and he treats me so well. And I'm like, I mean, because you know us Caribbean women, we ain't really with the whole sharing man thing. And she was like, well, I love my sisters, we're like sisters and I love them and it's nothing. He has enough love for everybody and all this other shit. But I always had a feeling like there was always something about her. I was like, something gonna be wrong there.
Everybody said that.
Do you guys remember the night that y'all came by my mom's?
Yes.
Okay, so me, I know, because y'all know we come from a spiritual family. And when you're doing light work, when you're doing a spiritual journey, and you bringing in light, a lot of shadows attack. There's a lot of shadows coming for you.
Yes.
That night, remember, he couldn't get out the car.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be real with you. There's a lot of people that won't come up in my mom's yard, but that's because either their energy is off or something's on them that won't let them come in my mom's yard. And that's why she came. Remember, she came and she washed him down with the tabaluco, and then she put some on you guys and everything. And she was.
She gave us a bottle to take.
I remember.
Yeah.
Remember, she put it on you guys and prayed over you guys and everything.
Yeah.
Because we knew I had been talking to her about you guys. Because I've been I'm not gonna say I consistently watched everything, like every time Babaji put up a video, but I saw his journey from the beginning, and periodically I tap in and see where y'all at and stuff like that. So I saw when he was alone, to when Velvet came in, to when she was not there, to then when she came back, the whole situation in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Like, I was there. Like, I saw the whole thing. So, and I always knew that, like, I always spoke to my mom about the fact that, like, the more people came around, the more shit was getting untangled, so to speak. But at the end of the day, people don't understand that when you're doing a spiritual journey on your own, you go through shadow work. So imagine the shadow work when you're in a group.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't understand is that because he's so passionate, because he cares, he don't want to see you going through that by yourself. He's trying to coach you, like, yo, come on, like, we got out.
Don't do that.
I care, like, don't do it like that. Don't do it like that. No, please. And they take it the wrong way because he's from New York. He loud.
Yeah.
He gonna tell you. He gonna be like in the most caring way though. But people take that the wrong way.
Yeah.
But it's because of these people. They're not aware that they have these shadows and these spirits on them, these generational curses, right? That come around and activate with other people. The more people that come around, the more your shit come out.
Yeah.
And he's the one that could see it very easily. So he's the enemy to the public because he always calling it out. He not gonna sit there and let you soak and sit around in the negative thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, because I definitely remember that when y'all was around, there was certain moments that. Yeah, like, I remember there was some moments that you were cool, like, you was going through some moments that you were, like, down and you weren't in the mood, and he kept, like, bro, like, that's not what I brought you here for. Like, we're supposed to be having a good time, like, you know what I mean?
And that's what people need to understand.
I guess that's why you would go in your corner and draw to just compose yourself or whatever. But, like, I got where he was coming from. That's why I'm like, a lot of people don't understand the passion behind when somebody speaks, especially when they care and they're an empath. I get it.
Like,
that's why sometimes I'm like, when he would get like that and on the lives and stuff.
And you know what?
I wasn't bothered.
It's different too, because he cares about his people.
Yeah, he does.
In general, you don't hear people talking the way that he does to bring people together. He cares very deeply about his people. That's why he's chief. That's why he brought everybody together. That's why he gave people roles and purposes. I guarantee you right now, them people ain't okay. No,
because I just find it so funny that a lot of people are being hypocritical and contradicting this.
And you know what?
Cuss, but I do want to cuss because it's crazy. Like, what y'all expect? A perfect person? I'm tired of people talking about, oh, but he did this and he did that. Ain't nobody in this world perfect. And when you going through your spiritual journey and you doing shadow work, you got to go down before you go up.
Exactly.
You understand? Just like you got to crawl before you walk. So before you can get to a higher elevated state, you got to face your demons.
Okay.
And when you're doing this shit in a group, people don't understand the same way the Bible says, when more than two is in prayer, there I'll be there, right? So it's the same. If there's more than one person, you got a group, and that shit was like 20 of y'all in a group doing the same journey, walking hand in hand, doing shadow work together. It's gonna be a lot of crazy things happening.
It's crazy.
You understand? But at the end of the day, I ain't seen nobody end up in the hospital for no damages, for no injuries or nothing. I've seen people come and go. So everything was clearly voluntary.
She herself came and go
many
Very
times.
happy.
She herself came and go. She
She
came.
was happy to show off her tattoo with his
Exactly.
name on her butt cheek.
Okay, she still got
She
it.
just posted one after, it was probably a couple months ago with the same name on her butt. It's like, it's
Still.
crazy. Cause it's like, bro,
At the end
you
of the day, listen,
lie.
I was essayed when I was 7 years old by a step cousin.
Mm-hmm.
From that time, I have not seen him. About some 7 to 8 years ago, I saw a little girl that looked just like him turn out to be his daughter. And anybody that knows me knows I love kids, especially girls, because I don't have my own. I have a son. That's why I'm speaking out, because I wouldn't want nobody to do this to my son.
Exactly.
So, when I saw this little girl, I told my mom, keep that little girl away from me. Just the sight of that little girl reminding me of how her father looked had just blew my mind. And I hadn't seen him since I was 7. I am 34 right now. Okay? So for you to still have the name of somebody that you so supposedly did this to you, and you're sporting it, you're showing it off
On a camera?
I mean,
on Instagram? No.
that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, now the crazy thing is, she never once. Actually, in the interview, she said, "Them bitches is jealous. He would never treat me like that." Right? You heard her describe the whole situation. She never ever said anything bad against him. Never. Not even during the trial. Right? But guess what? You did hear her say that shit about Solar. That nigga tried to kill her, give her a kiss of death, and choke her the fuck out and slam him by. You heard that, right? That shit was crazy. But you heard her talk about. You heard her say he would never do that. He would never do that to me. He would never hurt me. He would never harm me. So she knows in her mind, like, he wouldn't do that to me.
And
Chief. Solar did all of that.
Chief, he. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah. All right. First of all, I just want to comment and tell you guys that you're so beautiful, the both of you. Second of all, I want to say that when the verdict was reached down and he was sentenced to life without parole, plus 10, I cried. Because it was a malicious prosecution. Period.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says. I have experience in the law. He was railroaded. Yeah. And to begin with, he was railroaded by his own people.
It was very biased.
It was very biased.
Yeah.
It's election time, and the judge used him as her gal. Plain and simple. The young lady, and I won't say her name, was coerced by a blogger, and I won't say that person.
Yeah.
And it was out of envy. I watched it from the beginning to the end. It was out of it. Another person was envious because it was all about being number one.
That was clear.
It was all about being number one. It was all about being white and being in control.
We see you, Bambi. We see you, but I know you want to get in there too. I see you.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let her after her. She's gonna come in.
Yeah, I was calling it off because I have prayed about him. I've thought about him, and I wish him well. I've researched to find out where he is.
Yeah.
And he will be released. God will prevent.
Absolutely.
You know it. Yes.
Absolutely.
You know it.
He would definitely be exonerated.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely.
The state attorney that they use is one of them. So he was not trying to exonerate him.
No.
Okay. He was going to get paid regardless.
Yep.
Hill's position was that he was not going to take a plea for all those people who are humbly asking about his plea deal. He was not going to admit to something he didn't do.
Exactly.
Because that's the title and a stipulation that will follow him for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
In the worst way.
In the worst way.
So we're going to go back to the malicious prosecution and how I've never in my 58 years, and I've watched O.J. Simpson trials and a lot of trials. I've read about the law and I have experience with the law. Seen a person who has been convicted, sentenced, and the same day.
On the same day. While
On the same
she was
effort.
sick as hell.
Real?
Couldn't even
I've
read.
heard that. That's not normal.
No.
It's
Because
not-
You don't-
it was all the setup. They had intentions on convicting him from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
From the beginning, their mind was already made up.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Their
already.
mind was already made up.
Gregory
There
Ford
was-
said it. He said
Absolutely.
it. He
There was
said we
not
got to
a
get this
shred
man
of
zapped up.
evidence.
He said it.
Absolutely. There was not a shred of evidence. If every man or woman, for that matter, go to the prosecutor and say, "Hey, XYZ, this person raped you." Listen, I've been there before. My person is still walking the face of the earth free. My child went through trauma as a kid. I tried to have that person prosecuted. This person went to the prosecutor's office and used Facebook as a lie, and he's walking free. So there has to be by law reasonable doubt.
Exactly.
There was no reasonable doubt.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sorry, there was plenty of reasonable doubt.
Plenty.
Plenty of reasonable doubt. Because she said they made love. And I heard her.
They would not allow us to play that stuff during trial.
Any of those
Absolutely.
videos, they would not allow. Anything that we tried to get in was denied. But when it was their turn, it was a free for all.
They had the floor.
They allowed everything to come in. But when it was our turn, shut down all the way. They didn't even didn't care about that night. They didn't care. They didn't ask not 2-3 questions about that night.
Exactly.
I went on that stand. Do you know what they asked me? They said, "Do your loyalty have an expiration date?" I'm like, what kind of shit is this?
Yeah, and what does that have to do with the case? Exactly? That was crazy.
I saw you. And the thing about it is that nowhere in her statement at first did she say that she said stop. Okay? Which a lot of people are dwelling on that part of it, that she said stop. None of us were there.
No.
So we're going to take her words that she said stop.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, and I can go way back to Nature Boy and that other person, and that we won't mention her name. And, you know, when you talk about a cult, and we're going to go back to Charles Manson, and we're going to really talk about a cult.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back to cult, those people and those were not able to leave. I've watched members of Carbonation leave and come back, leave and come back.
Many times.
Has cell phones.
Exactly.
Has cell
I've
phone.
been 3 times. Me.
Absolutely.
I've stood 3 times, left and came back several times.
And you know what's scary is that you can get this severe of a penalty from just somebody's word.
A word.
Correct.
It should have been a fight. Because
Yes.
to give somebody a life sentence, like that's one step below death penalty.
Ain't no
There's
way.
supposed to be a fight to the truth of tooth and nail for that. You can't just take somebody's word and say, okay, you're gonna get this.
Okay, I want to address the person. This is Charles Manson's cult members. Absolutely, were allowed to leave. They were not. Okay, they were not allowed to leave because when they tried to leave, they were gunned down. They were killed. They were murdered. There are survivors who said on national TV, and there's a documentary, that their family members were left there. They escaped. The family members that were left there perished with. Charles Manson's. I'm getting into Jim Jones. I'm so sorry, because these are real cult leaders.
Right.
When you talk about Charles Manson and Jim Jones and these people, okay, Charles Manson had mind control over his people and coerced them to commit heinous crimes, including murder. Okay, they received life without parole, but guess what? Some of them were released.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some of the members were released. When we talk about Jim Jones' situation, which was a cult leader, they were not allowed to leave. They were murdered if they tried to leave. So I just want to clear that fact up. That
Yeah, it's not fair to call him a co-leader and to even compare him with these people where more than 200 children died. It's not fair to compare him to that when he never said himself he was a co-leader. That was labeled to him by Canada because they wanted to get their daughter back home. They said that.
They label him that because he calls himself a god, but if God lives in all of us and we are...
No, they can't label somebody a cult leader for that. Jay-Z said all the time in his song Kanye West, this is a God's dream.
But Jay-Z's a celebrity and Jay-Z's working for them people. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Ego's not working for them people. Ego's working to get people off that agenda. Like mentally get off that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And they know that. That's what he's a threat to. Exactly. But people see him as a cult leader and people talk a lot of shit about him because of the fact that he calls himself a god and because y'all call him a god. But at the end of the day,
we call ourselves God. We called ourselves God.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I try to tell people. If we're created in his image, that means we're gods too. So and that's why I know that's why y'all say peace reflections.
Exactly.
Because if he's a god to you and he's a reflection of you, then you're a god too.
Okay.
So, and then people don't have the problem. I get so mad when his own people, our own people, sit here and get mad that y'all call him y'all's God, but I call my man my king.
Right.
What's the difference? We do that shit all the time. We, either us Hispanic women or black women, we call our man either papi, king, or whatever. You understand? So what's the difference?
Right.
It's a title.
Which is why they had to label it legally as a cult. Because they know that once you label any group or organization or family with that word, it's automatically
negative.
Creates a bias for the people. Right. For people watching it.
What they don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And since they don't understand that lifestyle, which I find crazy because Muslims live like that.
Right.
The only difference is in Muslim, like if a man has 4 wives, all 4 wives don't live together. They have to have their own home. Y'all were walking together, y'all were living together. That's the problem. People don't understand that. It's not the same thing. So it's just a whole lot of people just don't understand. It's just retarded to me because I feel like it's yes.
If I could just say this, there was a statement that the accuser said that I wanted to go through and find her.
Okay.
Because when she said that it didn't feel real.
Okay, yeah.
Which is why she was done after that. It didn't feel real. But that came out of her mouth.
She said it didn't feel real.
It felt fake.
It felt fake. Really wanted was love from him and from the family, but when I didn't get that,
that's when I wanted to leave. And you know what? She even said
how she really was, right?
That's
a reflection of how she really felt. The love she was giving y'all was fake.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right there. That statement right there. Had I been on the juror panel, would have told me that she was jealous.
But you know what? They didn't allow that to be played.
None of that.
The only thing they allowed to his interview with the detectives where he was trying to tell everybody that's my girl. Yes. But they didn't. When we tried to get her side of the interview,
they would not play that.
They wouldn't play.
Let me tell you why. We about to play what she said to the detectives. The same thing that she said. After I play this, Bambi, I'm gonna let you go in because I know you've been wanting to say something. Okay. But the same thing that she said on the T, she said the exact same thing to the detectives. Now, after I'm gonna play it and then. The detectives wrote in their case notes, right there. They wrote in their case notes that he forced himself in her. that he was irate and he was being violent and all these things. But this is what she said.
That. She never said that. They wrote their own stuff. They wrote their own.
Yeah. So.
That's when I, then he made love to me the second time. And at this point, he's looking me in the eyes and telling me this and that and third. We make love. Once again, she states, we make love. Here's the third time. And a part of me just gave it to him because I did, still care for him.
She said, I gave it to him because I gave it to him because I still cared about him.
Exactly.
Now, Bambi, what was you gonna say?
Yes, about where she said she wanted love from you all. A person has to fully love themselves first if they expecting another person to love them. Like, she has to fully understand and love herself first. And just this whole case has blown my mind because all of the evidence is out there that he's innocent. And she never used the R word. She says she have said several times that they had made love. It was just all designed that way. And what Gregory Moore, he clearly said that we have to get this man jammed up.
Yep.
He kept saying that he's the biggest narcissist he knows. And when a person says something about another person, that's how he truly feels about himself.
That's right.
He kept saying that Chief Eligio Bishop was a bad person. No, Gregory Moore is the bad person.
Correct.
That's right.
It was just very biased. It was very unfair. And Babylon is extremely extreme. Like extreme. It's just set up very unfair.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah. And it's a tragedy that the world sat there and agreed with that when we have our people being slaughtered by law enforcement agencies every day.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
And what we watched with Eligio's trial was a slaughter.
Mm.
What's even sad is the fact that he got this much time when today a young boy of 23 years old just got his life taken away right here in my apartment complex by a boy that was just released from prison. And he was in prison for rape. He actually broke into a woman's house and assaulted her in her house.
Mm-mm.
He was just released not too long ago.
Oh, wow.
And able to commit yet another crime.
Oh, man.
Took away somebody's life. So they putting people that really ain't doing nothing
in jail
away for so long. Yes. And the people that's actually committing crimes and causing trauma
is walking the street.
For 5, 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah, that's why I hope none of y'all don't get a man, because most of the men out here is feminine. They lock all the real men up and behind bars. You know what? The key thing is that Chief never had any criminal history, no felony charges, no nothing.
Nothing.
And he should have been able to even so, let's say that they did this or whatever with their faulty evidence or whatever. He still should have been able to get a first timer's offense. He still should have been able to be granted some sort of pardon because he has not had no type of no felonies, nothing on his record.
Well, at the end, if you I know you remember correctly, she said, "Had you acted in a different way, I may have used some leniency."
And that's crazy because you know what? I'm in jail. I've been in jail for 2 years. It's nasty in there. I got to go back to a cell. that's infested with who knows what.
I can't talk to my family. I got children. I can't see my children. My children wondering where they daddy at.
Right, but on top of that, I'm worried about my health because they do not take care of them medically. So when you told me that you have COVID, we had COVID together. We was laid out. We was live. I don't know if you guys seen it, but we were laid out.
Yep.
On live. We had to take care of him. He brought me tea because I was feeling so bad.
Right.
Nobody don't want no COVID. He's not acting up. He's in fear of his life. He's seeing that everything is turned against him, and now all of a sudden you get COVID and you don't even want to stop the trial. All these people are here. We could have been affected. Everybody in that courtroom, the bailiffs, everybody who was working there could have been affected.
She also stated that I know that you want me off this case. It was very personal, which is why she was malicious and continuing to be on the bench. It was personal.
See, and that's crazy because a lot of these judges and prosecutors are getting away with way too much. And that's how you know that this system is about to fall, because she wouldn't recuse herself. There's nobody there that's going to step in and say, you're not doing right. You are actually a public servant. You're not doing your job. You're supposed to uphold the highest standards. There's a YSL's trial is going on right now. Their judge didn't want to recuse themselves, even though they got called out by their lawyer. Donald Trump is running for president. He got convicted of guilty on all 34 charges, and now all of a sudden the Supreme Court now passed a law that's saying that the president doesn't have to go to jail. They basically could do whatever they want.
Yes.
Trump was found guilty, and he is on a presidential campaign, free, walking around with a suit and tie. But he was guilty. That just goes to show the lack of care that this world has for the black man and just black people. Like, we can just sit up there. That was a modern day lynching.
Absolutely.
It was.
By our own people.
And I don't know if everybody knows, but this is war. This is war for us.
It really is.
Like, it is very serious, and that's why Chief brought the message the way he does. When you are sick, or when a loved one, somebody that you care for, is on the railroad track and a train is coming, but they don't see it, you're not going to whisper to them. You're going to grab them and tell them to get off of the track. Wake up.
Yeah, because you care.
Because you care.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of this has been. He's very misunderstood. He cares a lot.
He has a really big heart.
He has a really big heart. Most of the time when we had 27 people, there was times where it was 27 of us stuck at the border of Mexico. Nobody had money. He said, okay, call somebody. I need this. Pay for everybody.
Taking care of.
Food. Everything. Restaurants that we go to, they don't have to pay anything.
He was taking care of everybody. He was taking care of everybody. But as soon as he left and these same people couldn't get the same benefits, they couldn't get the same things that he was giving them, they just turned on him.
And I feel sorry. I really do. I really do feel bad for them. Because that at the end, it eats at you. And at the end of the day, you knew the truth. And now you have to sit there with a lie. Now you have to sit there.
What you did.
You can't take it back. We had a purpose. We had a mission. Something that we were doing with our lives.
She can take it back. She can take it back, but she won't, because she'll go to jail.
Absolutely.
That's right. If she tell the truth.
If she tell the truth, we will say, don't even let her go to jail. Just let him out.
Yeah.
We don't care about them. Like, look, we already done forgive them.
We forgave
for what
them.
what they did.
And I'll tell you that she can retract her statement, because, and I don't normally tell my personal stories, but my heart is in this for Legio and you guys, is that when I took custody of two of my nephews back in the day, and I was a stern person, I was a stern mother, and a stern aunt. And because one of my nephews couldn't get his way, he went to school and told them that I beat him and I jumped on him because he wanted to be removed from my house. So I wanted to take in more foster children at that time, and I was denied. I wasn't charged because they had what? No proof. Just his word, so he was removed. As time went on, my nephew, he's grown now, and he went to prison. And he got in touch with a cousin of mine, and he asked them to give him my phone number. And we're talking years after this allegation. And I did accept his call from prison. And he said to me, they told me to say it. And I'm so sorry. And I said to him, I said, we had a conversation on how it affected my life and how it affected his life. And he said, I asked my social worker if I could give her a letter. And I had that letter here at my house, and we're talking 10 years later now. He received 35 years for his crime. And it exonerated my name with Child Protective Services here in the state that I live in. So he did retract his statement. I hadn't been in touch with him to try to coerce him or send him any messages or anything. So she can, in fact, retract her statement.
Yeah. But
what she's holding on to is pride that she thinks that she's doing something.
Yeah.
But there's no winners here. There's no winners here. Because it affects everyone, including Alicia's children.
Exactly.
Yep.
And don't forget that it affects us all. Like what you did, it affects us all. It impacts us.
And to have any human spend the rest of his life in prison for something that he did not do, that's expected. Ever. If you're violated, by all means of the matter, I'm a woman, then that person needs to answer. But there was no proof whatsoever. And when I watched her dancing and dressing and the feathers and cooking and all that stuff, it means nothing. Not to me, it means absolutely nothing. I don't see her as beautiful as some women people are telling her. I don't see her as charming or anything. I see her as a scorned woman.
The character, yeah.
The character.
Yeah.
So the next move that I'm praying, and I've been looking and searching high and low for any type of GoFundMe. I have to get off soon. Any type of way that we can have where the state is not representing him. The state can never represent him again.
Right. Yeah, so we have all of that, and just to wrap everything up, and then if you guys have anything else that you want to say to close out, but we have everything put very neatly and organized on YouTube, Nature Boy TV. We have a brand new website, maliciousprosecution.co.
Yes.
You can get updates on there. We also have a GoFundMe. Now, we send the GoFundMe out personally to people because we have trolls. So we gonna make sure that we make available the lines of communication open. We really do to get this resolved. It really does take a community. It really does take us uniting. We really do need to come together to support, because everybody knows that he doesn't deserve to be in there. That was very excessive. It was very biased. Everybody's seen what happened. And
as far as people that, oh my God, because while we on this live, I'm going through some messages there, and I'm reading some stuff, but I keep getting frustrated that people keep bringing up this stuff but this other stuff that he did, like what?
No, and you can't do that. You can't on.
No, I'm not asking y'all like what. I'm saying like what in a sarcastic way, because it's like what?
Yeah.
Like what? What? Y'all can't say he made them two girls fight. Them girls fought on their own. He got tired of that shit. I saw it for myself. How many times he's like, I'm tired of y'all arguing.
Why they act like black people don't get an attitude and be wanting to fight?
Why they act like families aren't fucking dysfunctional, bro? Exactly. Well, we grew up in a house full with your siblings. Y'all fought
all the time.
It's the same thing, bro. Like why they trying to act like? And if y'all feel like that's something he should pay for, then 2 years, almost 3 years of his life is more than enough time paid.
Right.
That's more than enough time paid for something that everybody goes through. But because y'all expected him to be, because he calls himself God, y'all expected him to be like, oh, all the time. When if you know anything about life, you know everything is a balance, and with good comes bad.
Right.
And so as much as you try to be good, some bad things are going to happen. It's how you deal with it. It's how you maneuver the situation. It's not that doesn't mean that you're a bad person, because bad things happen around you.
Right.
Or the people around you, bad things happen to them.
Right.
You know, like, so I'm just, like, it just gets me upset because I've already had a couple people come at me like, oh, like, but you defending, because y'all don't know. I've actually met these people. Like, I actually met y'all. I sat down with y'all.
In person,
with y'all.
yeah.
Like, in live and direct, like, how you said that, how he's very generous. I experienced that because when we sat down on the boardwalk at Rum Runners and we ate, I didn't pay anything. When we went to a hotel on the Cape, I didn't pay anything. When we went up to the tide pools, I didn't pay nothing.
Right.
The whole time I was around y'all, I didn't have to pull out nothing out of my bag. Nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? All I had to do was tell y'all about where we going. Like, oh, so this is this and this is that.
Exactly.
But he literally took care of everything. Mm-hmm. So, yes, he's generous. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's passionate. Y'all take that as angry. But at the end of the day, what they did to this man is absolutely horrible. It is not right. And any woman out there that is a mom that has a son,
absolutely,
and you ain't standing behind this, like trying to be behind him getting free, then something's wrong with you, because this could happen to your son.
Yeah,
like it really could happen to your son. There's and like what the saying going on,
hell has no fear
scorn?
like a woman scorned.
Right. Wow. Like she was a woman scorned by her own damn self.
Yep.
With her own pride and ego, because she knew what she was getting into.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know why as women we have this toxic mentality of thinking that we can change the man.
Absolutely.
Let that shit go. You knew exactly what you were coming into. That man been poly since he started.
Yep.
Okay. The one who had his child couldn't change that fact.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why did you think that you could?
Right.
You said it. Yes.
That's right.
So I feel like people feeling bad for me to just get over themselves, because at the end of the day, how can you feel bad for somebody who literally said on live that she was in love with somebody else in the group? Okay. Then after she had the main man in the group jailed, got with the other guy in the group, got pregnant with the other guy in the group, then that other guy in the group leaves her to be with the baby mama of the chief. That shit diabolical to me.
Absolutely. And I watched her as well.
Oh, and then throwing up the 3 too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I saw that. So I find it contradictory and hypocritical that a lot of people are hating on this man, what they did to this man, but they still following this stuff. Even some of the people that I've noticed, there's been some other members that, like previous long time ago members, that they went on their own way, and I seen a couple of them talk something, and I'm like, but you're living the life he taught you.
Right.
You know, so like, why
you don't even acknowledge?
Why is you getting involved? You've been out.
And that's where I get confused at when I was watching them and they're still living the lifestyle. Is, wait a minute, hold up. I thought it was a cult. So if you're out, why are you still practicing cult-like lifestyle?
Exactly.
You know?
So that's all I really got to say. I'm going to keep praying for my boy to get out, because this is beyond wrong.
I'm thankful.
You know, I'll do what I can on my side. But I hope that more people jump on this bandwagon the same way they was jumping on that other BS bandwagon and bring him down. Like, it's a shame that why the fuck we keep doing this shit to each other.
Absolutely. Any man was
We supposed this exactly what I'm not trying to be with the race thing, but this is exactly what the white man want. You know what I'm saying? It's for black and browns to be against their own.
Yep.
Yeah. And y'all just gave them that.
Yeah. And what blows my mind is it's their own people. Black people is what crabs in a barrel.
Yep.
No person tried to bring Eligio Bishop down. It's been black folks, his own people. That's what's so sad.
Absolutely.
You know, just the mentality of most of the black people.
And you know, that's what Chief came to heal. He came to heal that. And with him having such a big light, he showed everybody that was around him their shadows. He became a mirror to show people all the things that was lying dormant, all the darkness. When you come on your spiritual journey, yes, it's beautiful, but all your shit, all your demons, all your shadows gonna start coming up. And because we so used to running from that, it's easier to point the finger and say this person is doing this, and this is toxic, and this is this. No, I mean, the spiritual journey is a detoxing process. Your toxins gonna come up, and Chief has been a catalyst for that. Yeah, because he represents the truth. That's why you said these people leave and they steal in nature and do, because he's speaking the truth. Exactly. Right. He's the modern day Messiah with the message of the Christ consciousness. I am God. And he broke it down clearly. He broke it down so clear. So clear. And that's why this is happening.
Exactly. We're supposed to remain ignorant. They know that there's strength in our numbers.
Yeah.
You know, there's strength.
But they don't realize. They just gave him a whole bunch of new numbers where he at.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say
how many black men go in and out every year?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the more go in, the more he teach, the more come out.
That's what I'm saying. How they gonna get the knowledge in the prison?
Set him up for a bigger comeback at the end of the day.
How they gonna get the knowledge that's in the prison? They need the knowledge the most. Yeah. How they gonna get it?
That's our lost. Those are the ones that are condemned, the hopeless. They don't have no hope. And then Chief comes with all of that light, and he casts out all of that darkness that they have, and now they are able to see. Caesar with the green sheet,
waking them up.
You sleeping,
waking up, because that's the real world.
That's the real niggas in here.
That's the real world. See, everybody out here in the cars going to the job. That's the fabricated, false white supremacy fantasy that they trying to get y'all, keep y'all in.
That's that 3D world.
Exactly, and that's another thing that really angered me is the fact that any prisoner that goes into the system, you are able to go onto a website, you're able to find out which facility they're in, there's the prison number, you're able to write them, correspond with them, and visit them. Chief is nowhere to be found.
Right.
You know, so now we're going to hide them, and we're going to try to hide them away from society.
But we waking up.
Wherever he is, he's with society.
Exactly.
This system is falling.
Because he's caged, his knowledge is still with him.
Yeah, this reality is crumbling.
It's crumbling.
You already could see it. Terrence Howard, he just made a message like he said, I'm coming to bring a truth. Just like the message comes from Chief. It's the same thing. He said, I've come to bring this message, and it is going to probably cost me my life.
Yep.
They know that once these people start waking up and spreading this truth, that they have a problem.
The system is going to crumble.
They are breaking down the fabric of reality. The mathematics themselves don't make no sense.
They don't make no sense.
The things that they are doing are going against nature.
They are deceiving. They're
infiltrate, and that's what happened there.
Yep.
We had that person who was willing to sacrifice this man for the white man, and that's exactly what happened.
But the tables are going to turn.
Nobody can tell me that she left out of that house to get into an Uber, Lyft, cab, or whatever, And she was so frightened of this man that she then turned back around and went back into the house and made love with him.
Through all of us telling her to take your ass back downstairs and say, "Oh, bitch, you just jealous."
She was trying to go past us and say, "I'm going upstairs to say bye to bye," but you said, "No, bitch, go."
No. If you scared, one, you're not gonna leave your Uber outside with your bag. Outside. We looking at the door like, is that bitch bag outside? Like just outside? You come on, false imprisonment, how? How?
Exactly. That's why she said Baba G would never treat me like this, because we was telling her to go. Baba G would have talked to her, you know, you in a relationship, you trying to leave. That's a romance. This is a romantic story. We sat there and watched it. She said, "I love you and I love you too," and she was crying. And come on now.
It's horrible.
Pluto is going into Aquarius. All of these structures and political hierarchies are going to crumble.
And the truth is going to become out to the light. That's what Pluto and Aquarius brings. It brings the truth.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And this is the ending of this whole phase.
And the coming of the Christ.
Of the truth.
The truth.
Absolutely.
And so we stand firm, and we every day just keeping going. And we just wanted to wake it up more again so people can get back talking about this case. Watch the malicious prosecution video. That video is so crucial because it just breaks everything down. Share it on your page. Send it messages to somebody. Just talk about it. Look, it's bigger. Like, this is how they do the black man. Like, we have to look at this. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
And I listened to them, and and I said to myself, these could have possibly have made it into evidence. I just, it's horrible the way it was lamenting. It was a malicious prosecution, and hopefully we can all get together as people. If Chief doesn't have an attorney, a paid attorney, we're all going to put through some funds.
And it's crazy. It's like, people are thinking that it's money. It's not all about money. It's not all about that. It's the resources, the people that if you are able to do something, then bring your skill, bring your talent, because that's why they do this to black people, because they know black people don't have the resources. But when you look at
support and self-love for each other,
they know
help each other,
that we fall apart and we break apart and we stop supporting each other. But it's about just everybody bringing what they know and what they have together.
Yes.
Correct.
Whether you can make a website, you know how to make videos, whatever you can to help, finances, a lawyer, we can really come together. Like, we really can. And if you go to the maliciousprosecution.co website, if you put in your email, you will have contact with us, get updates, and we can just start building on how we can really come together and put our minds together and just work together.
I'll join that when we get off, and I'm an attorney, and I'm going to reach out to her tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you for coming on the panel.
You can practice in the state of Georgia, but I will talk to her at once.
Okay. We'll be in contact with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Be blessed.
Thank you so much.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I love myself.
Peace.